Beta testing. Oh. Activate Reign of Grelok beta. Okay. Planes. Look around. Go north, go south, go east, go west. Inventory. Alright, I'm going to look around the plains. You are standing in a wide plain. Foothills stretch to the north, where clouds gather around an ominous peak. A dirt path winds from a lonely chapel to the east, through the plains where you're standing, and south into a bustling town. Wispy mists gather over marshland in the west, where a thin tower stands alone in the bog. Oh, in the olden days, I had a computer, Texas Instruments, that didn't even have a disk drive. It had a cassette drive. You used actual cassette tapes for the programs. And the video games didn't have graphics. They had these text adventures that were just like a choose your own adventure, but you would type in 2-word commands like go north or look around or use sword or something like that, right? And that's how you would navigate through the game. Oh my gosh. This is taking me way back. Taking me way back like 35, 40 years. Alright, and what's my inventory? Let's check. I have a rusty sword, of course. You always have a rusty sword. And a drinking flask. Your weapon, rusty but trusty. A very small flask to carry water. Oh. Okay. I am going to go south to the bustling town. Look around. You're standing in the dusty market square of a quiet town. Many of the shops and homes lie abandoned, and the citizens that can be seen speak in hushed voices, casting furtive glances at the darkened skyline in the distant north. The ringing of an anvil breaks the silence regularly, where a mustachioed blacksmith bends over his work in a nearby tent. The blacksmith is here, working. A priest is here, drinking. Oh my gosh. And this is where you would say, talk blacksmith, or talk priest, or something like that. Ah, see, there you go. Speak with blacksmith, speak with priest. Oh. Your eyes water from the smoke and smarmy heat inside the tent. The huge man swipes sweat from his bald head and looks up from his work. There's no shortage of work to be done, with Greylock scaring everyone witless. Leave me to fill in my orders, stranger. With that, the blacksmith dismisses you from his tent and douses a hot blade in water, hissing with steam. Speak with the priest. The priest notices your approach and looks up from his swilling. Greylock is come and we are forsaken, he cries. Oop, he continues. As you recover from the stench of the priestly belch, you are told that the priest has fled from his nearby chapel. When Greylock arrived on the mountain, the dead in his cemetery began to rise and his congregation scattered. If you could rid the place of the zombies, he tells you, I'll give you the key and you can help yourself to the apothecary. Ooh. Alright, well, let's go north. And then let's go to the chapel. Where was the chapel? To the east. Chapel, look around. You stand at the end of a dirt path, facing a small chapel. The stucco walls are faded, many roof tiles are missing, the great oaken doors are locked. The congregation is nowhere to be found. A small cemetery of crooked headstones lies in the shadow of the cracked steeple. The dirt path winds westward through a great featureless plain. A zombie totters aimlessly nearby. There is an open grave nearby. Use sword zombie. Examine grave. Alright, let's examine the grave. There is a deep, empty grave in the cemetery. Several bloated rats floating in a foot of filthy water at the bottom. Don't fall in. Alright, let's use our sword on the zombie. Your blow knocks the zombie into a grave. Okay, examine the grave. Alright, several bloated rats and a zombie corpse now float in a foot of filthy water at the bottom. A grotesque zombie head is stuck on a root near the top of the grave. You bag the horrific trophy as proof of your deed. We can continue to go... I think if we go west, we go back where we came from, don't we? Yes, we're back in the plains. Alright, let's go to the city and speak with the priest. The priest drunkenly curses the undead who have defiled his church. You present him with the decapitated zombie head from your bag. Praise you, he hiccups. Perhaps Grelok's influence isn't so strong. With that, he turns his decanter over on the head and tosses into a fireplace where it bursts into purple flame and burns up almost instantly. Ah, I see. He's poured his alcohol over the zombie head and tossed it in the fire. I must gather the faithful. He presses a brass key into your palm. Please help yourself to what little it may be of use at my chapel. Okay, let's go north and go back to the chapel. Chapel is to the east. Chapel, look around. The chapel doors are unlocked. Examine the chapel. Dust motes hang lazily in the shafts of colored light stretching across the chapel from peaked windows. The pews, pulpit, and everything else are covered in a fine mist. There is a very deep stone cistern near the entrance. It is full to the brim with blessed water. There is more than enough water here to fill your tiny flask. So now my flask is full of blessed water. All right. All right, we've been to the chapel. We've been to the town. There's mist over the marshland to the west. And there's a thin tower there alone in the bog. All right, I think we need to go there next. But let's go south to the town. And try speaking with the priest again. The priest is drinking water, pouring over a thick leather-bound volume connected by a thick leather thong to his neck. He notices you only when you come very close. Ah, good friend, have you gone ahead to open the chapel? My body still aches with drink, I'm afraid, but soon I will gather the congregation and return myself. Alright, well the blacksmith still doesn't want to talk to me, so... let's head west. To the swamp. You are standing on a narrow stone path in a dark marsh. Greasy bubbles float to the top of the bog waters on either side and pop lazily, splattering your legs with muck and slime. A short stone tower squats here. I thought it was a narrow, tall tower. Okay. No door is visible, and the stones are smooth and polished. A balcony juts out midway up the tower's face. The heady smells of incense mix with the nauseating stench of the swamp. The stone path unfurls eastward toward a broad plain beyond the marshes. A wizard is here, gesticulating wildly from his balcony. Let's talk to the wizard. The wizard beckons wildly at you from his balcony. You're here, you've arrived, he exclaims. After an awkward silence, he jabs an excited finger into a crystal ball, nearly knocking it into the bog. I've seen, you see. You're the one to defeat Grelok. Woohoo! The little man hops onto the railing, spinning a pirouette. Now the time has come to play my part. Toss up the gem. The wizard's brow furrows. Got things a bit out of order, have I? Come back when you've got a powerful gemstone. Soon. I've never got to fulfill a prophecy before. Alright, well, where are we supposed to find this gem? Alright, I guess we should go north now. To the mountainside. Greylock is here spewing heresies. You are on the craggy, wind-blasted face of a mountain. Storm clouds coil above the summit, pelting you and the sparse vegetation with torrential downpour. Far below, beyond the foothills, a wide plain stretches across the southern horizon. Greylock is here spewing heresies. A glint between the rocks catches your eye. Oh, that must be the gem. Investigate the glinting object. You take a rough gemstone from the rocks. Ooh, yeah, I'm not going to try to use my sword on Grelok yet. I only have a rusty sword. I have a feeling I need to take this gemstone to the wizard. Woohoo! The Slayer of Grelok approaches, raw stone in hand, just as I've seen. The wizard's pointy hat bobs excitedly as he points a finger at you. Suddenly, a pale orange arc of light extends from the knobby finger and draws the gemstone from your bag before you can react. The gemstone halts and hovers in the air before the wizard's nose. Essence be true, powers renew, fatty hoodoo. With that, he slaps the hovering stone, smashing it against the smooth stone of the tower. In a burst of light, the stone splits into two, and one lands in each outstretched palm of the hopping little wizard. Shard for the sword. Wrap her in iron, and she'll find Greylock's black heart for you. Take the chaff, too. You'll need payment for a smith to forge the weapon. He tosses the stones down, which you leap forward to catch safely. Alright, so I have a rusty sword, a drinking flask, a refined gemstone, brilliant faceted gemstone, a magical shard, pulsing with magical light. Alright, let's go back to the town and speak with the blacksmith. The blacksmith regards you gruffly and is about to dismiss you when you produce the polished gemstone from your bag. He sets his hammer aside and twirls his mustache. "A right fine stone that is," he says, admiring the faceted stone. "What would you be needin' then?" Following your careful instructions, the smithy reforges your rusty sword with the magical shard at the center of the blade. Now I have a drinking flask filled with blessed water, a magic sword, enchanted weapon to defeat Grelok, and a key given to you by the priest. Alright, I think it is time to confront Greylock. Let us use the magic sword on Greylock. When you draw your sword, Greylock lowers his great horned head and bellows laughter in your face. You grit your teeth and swing a mighty two-handed blow, the magic blade ringing clearly even amid the tumult of throaty crackling. You swing the sword so fiercely it escapes your grip and hurls into the open maw of the monstrosity, lost from sight in the arid darkness of Greylock's throat. You step back as Greylock jerks his mouth shut and stands upright. He is still for a moment, then starts clawing at his neck. Muffled, a ringing can be heard, as if from a great distance. Suddenly, Greylock's chest bursts in a fount of viscous green blood. The ringing can be heard clearly now, and as thick lifeblood oozes around the protruding tip of the magic sword, the storm clouds swirling the peak are already clearing. Greylock is defeated. The end. Thanks for playing. Victory. Game over. Aw, that was fun. But what was the holy water for? I don't think we ever ended up using the holy water. It was kind of a red herring. I don't know, maybe I could have thrown it on the zombie? I want to go back to playing some more of those. That was fun.